So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Anyone knows that what this statement is called? Anyone knows?
تعوذ.
Brother Tao. Yes.
Excellent. So there are two words. One word is ta'awuz, and sometime another word which is used in mostly in the Arabic terms, they call it isti'aza. Isti'aza. Isti'azatun. We can say isti'azatun. So isti'aza. Isti'aza. Inshallah, we will learn this thing in detail. But for now, just let me give you a very brief thing. This alif, sin, and ta. Remember this alif, sin, and ta. When this alif, sin, and ta is added with any verb, it gives it the meaning of to seek something. Actual word is aza, but alif, sin, and ta is adding the meaning of to seek something. Clear? For example, when we say istikhara, alif, sin, and ta. Istighfar, alif, sin, and ta. So this alif, sin, and ta in the start of a verb or in the start of a word, it gives the meaning of seeking something. So isti'aza. So aza means protection. Isti'aza, seeking protection. Ta'awuz is right. Yes, but isti'aza is a more appropriate. Isti'aza, seeking protection. Clear? So alif, sin, ta gives the meaning of seeking. So remember this point. Inshallah, it will come in detail in future. So let's do inshallah analysis of this one. So this first one, a'udhu. A'udhu. Please pay attention. A'udhu. It is fail mudare and number 13 in the mudare chart. Okay. This is the actual fail. Aza and then ya'uzu. Someone's mic is not mute. Please make sure your mic is mute. Aza, ya'uzu, and then is. Aza is the madi form. Ya'uzu is the mudare form, and is the amr form. Why I mentioned this? Whenever you study a fail, a verb, at least you learn these three forms of that fail. Aza, ya'uzu, and is. These are the three forms of this word which is used as a a'uzu. And this a'uzu is from the mudare family, from the mudare chart. And from mudare chart, it is number 13. 1 point. Second point is those verb or those fail which have these three letters inside of their original letter. For example, three words are Hamza, which is this case. Hamza mean, remember this, Hamza mean alif with a haraka. Hamza mean alif with haraka. If there's no haraka, we call it alif. If you give it any haraka, haraka mean damma, fatha, kasra. If you give any haraka to alif, then we call it Hamza. So Hamza, waw, and ya. Let me write it here. Hamza, waw, and ya. These three letters. If any verb has any of these three letters inside of its original letters, we call it that, because these three letters are called, the name for these letters is, I put it here, huruf illat. Huruf is the plural of harf, which means letter. And illat means that they have some problem, in a sense, you can call it some problem. So any of the words which have this hamza, waw, and ya as a part of its original letters. And now we all know the concept of original letters. Clear? We discussed this in level 1. Now, these family which have any of these letters, they are dealt differently as compared to the other verbs. They will be dealt, inshallah, in our level 2 course towards the end of the course. But for now, just remember this much, that this a'uzu, this first word a'uzu, which is from this mudare ya'uzu, it is not a regular verb. It is irregular verb. And irregular means it has hamza, waw, or ya. As you can see, it starts with hamza here. Okay. And if you look at the madi form, it has this one, this hamza here. Okay. For this reason, they are irregular verb. Inshallah, irregular verb will be studied in detail. But for now, just remember this concept of irregular verb, that those verbs whose original letters having hamza, waw, or ya, they are called irregular verbs. Clear? This much you need to know at this stage. And if you have any question, you can ask me, inshallah. So I said that this auzu, which is from the mudare family, number 13, this auzu is a fail mudare. And now we know the concept that every fail has a built-in file or doer. Clear? Only number 1 entry in the chart, because every fail has a 14 words chart. Only entry number 1, the first cell and the fourth cell. First cell means the he cell, and fourth cell means the she cell. So first and fourth cell, they can have an outside doer, but rest of all of them must have inside doer. So now auzu is number 13, and number 13 has a built-in doer, and that doer is ana. Ana means I. Okay. So auzu. I said before that this ain, this root letters, ain and zal, they have the meaning of protection. Auzu, I come in protection. You know that sometimes they translate as I seek protection. That is correct as well, no problem in that. But the more accurate is that I come in protection, because I mentioned in the start that seeking is alif, sin, and ta. In Arabic language, seeking is alif, sin, and ta, and this auzu has no alif, sin, and ta. So the better translation is I come in protection. Auzu fil mudare, and inside of auzu there is a built-in file ana. So you got the fail and you got the file. Billahi. By the way, if at any point you feel anything not clear, please ask me question. Okay, that's how I can know. So billahi, this word billahi, if you look at this word, it's actually two words, ba and Allahi. And we all know that ba is a harf jar and Allahi is majroor. Allahi, you can see this kasra, Allahi. This kasra is why? Because of this ba of harf jar. So ba is harf jar, and this word Allahi is majroor. So you got a jar majroor. Now because your sentence is jumlatul failiya. Why? Because it starts with the fail. So it's a jumlatul failiya. Clear? And inside of jumlatul failiya, if you get a jar majroor phrase, the label of jar majroor phrase is muta'alliq. Muta'alliq bil fail. I just put the word muta'alliq. So muta'alliq bil fail. Clear? So this billahi, which is a jar majroor phrase, it's playing the role of muta'alliq bil fail. Which fail? This auzu. Let's move on. Next word is min. Min is again a preposition, harf jar. Okay. Ash-shaytani. You see, ash-shaytani has a kasra. Why? Because of this min. Because this min is jar and ash-shaytani is majroor, and this is because of this min. So again, min ash-shaytani is a jar majroor phrase. So this jar majroor phrase is also a muta'alliq. So you got muta'alliq number 1 and then muta'alliq number 2. Auzu and then billahi muta'alliq 1, min ash-shaytani muta'alliq 2, ar-rajimi. Please listen my point carefully. When you see that two words are rhyming to each other, there's a high possibility that they will become mawsoof sifa. Ash-shaytani ar-rajimi. You can clearly see that ash-shaytani and ar-rajimi both are matching in all the four properties. And when two words match in all the properties, we call them as mawsoof sifa. Ash-shaytani will become the mawsoof and ar-rajimi will become the sifa. Okay, now let's join everything together. A'udhu, I come in protection. Billahi, with Allah. Minash shaitani, min mean from the shaitan. And this shaitan is ar-rajimi. Ar-rajim mean the one who is casted out, the one who is away from Allah's mercy. Okay, the one who is rejected basically. So auzu, I come in protection, billahi, with Allah, minash shaitanir rajim, from the devil who is cursed. Sometimes they translate a rajim as curse, even though we know that curse is a lana and word lana is not used here, but it gives the same expression. You remember that if somebody commits adultery and they are married couple, their punishment is stoning, and this stoning is called rajam, that they will be done rajam, ra, jim and mim, rajam. This rajim, same, when you cast somebody with the stone, when you cast stone at someone. Clear? So this ar-rajimi is basically, it's a figure of speech. The one who is casted away from Allah's mercy, the one who is away from Allah's rahmah. This is the description of shaitan. So a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I come in the protection. I come in protection with Allah from the shaitan who is cursed or who is casted out. Any question about this isti'azah?
Assalamu alaikum, brother. About the Hamza, Sin, and Ta.
Yeah.
It will be always 100% that meanings carry with the seeking or any exception in there.
No, seeking. Yeah.
Okay, Jazakallah.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, Amir bhai.
Can you please explain those three words again? That Yauzu and Aizu. I missed the first one because it's coming under that screen. I couldn't see that.
Okay, so let me inshallah write it them again so you can see. So the word I said was aza, ya'uzu, ya'uzu, and then is. Ain zal is. That is madi, that is mudare, and that is amr. Aza, ya'uzu, is. Clear, Brother Amir?
Yeah, Mazi, Mudare, and the last one is
Fil amr.
yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. I just have to just asking to clarify this.
Yeah.
So, minash shaitani, when you consider that, it is a jar majroor.
Yeah.
But then shaitanir rajim, it is a mawsuf sifa.
Yes, yes, you are right.
Okay, so yeah, okay, so there is actually two jar majroor, which is billahi as well as minash shaitani, then
Excellent.
shaitan rajim. Okay, Jazakallah.
Excellent. 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 So let's inshallah do the next one. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So once again, let's deal with it bit by bit. Let's deal with this word bism first. So it's basically this first ba is again the ba of jar. This ba of jar. And ismi, the word ism, has become majroor. So ismi has become majroor because of this ba. So in the start, you got a jar majroor fragment. Please listen carefully. As we all know that jar majroor fragment can be the part of jumla ismiya, it can be the part of jumla failiya. So at this stage, we do not know which jumla we're gonna get because Bismillah is simply jar majroor. Sorry, Bismi is simply jar majroor. Now let's move on. Allahi, look at this next word, Allahi. Now you can see that the word Allahi is in jar status. Look at this one. This kasra is the sign that this word is in jar status. And I have said this thing last time. I'm gonna repeat it again. And I want you to please pay extra attention. Whenever you see an ism in jar status, your job is immediately look what is before this ism. In this case, Allahi is in jar status. What is before Allahi? Ismi. Ismi. Now, if before Allahi there was a preposition, then we would say that this Allahi is majroor. That's why it is in jar status. But if before Allahi you do not find a preposition, as in this case, before Allahi you have the word ismi, and ismi is not a preposition. So now the only possibility left is that Allahi is becoming mudaf ilay, and the word before it, which is ismi, is a mudaf. So one word can play two roles. For example, ismi is in the role of majroor for this ba. At the same time, ismi is a mudaf for who? For the word Allahi. So ismi is mudaf, Allahi is mudaf ilay. Let's translate what we have got so far. Ba mean with, ism mean name, Allah mean Allah. And we know that mudaf and mudaf ilay are translated by using the word of, with the name of Allah. This of is not written. In Arabic language, of is created between mudaf and mudaf ilay. So ism is mudaf, Allahi is mudaf ilay. You're gonna put of in between them. So with the name of Allah. Clear? Clear? Now let's move on. Ar-Rahmani and Ar-Rahimi. Let's deal with these two words. First, Ar-Rahmani. Now, Ar-Rahmani is in jar status. Clear? And before Ar-Rahmani, please pay attention. Before Ar-Rahmani, there is no preposition. So it cannot be the case of jar majroor. And secondly, before Ar-Rahmani, if you try to say that maybe it's a mudaf ilay, Allahi, Allahi has alif lam. Allah, al-ilah, al-ilah. So what I'm trying to say is that this Ar-Rahmani is actually description of Allah. And when something is a description, it must match with the word which it describes. One more time. Ar-Rahmani is a description of Allah. And this is the reason Ar-Rahmani is in jar status. Why? Because Allahi is in jar status. Because description or adjective or sifa must match with the ism in all the four properties. And if you look at Allah and Ar-Rahman, they are matching in all the four properties. So this Ar-Rahmani is actually sifa. Sifa of who? Sifa of this word, Allah. Secondly, Ar-Rahimi. Now, Ar-Rahmani and Ar-Rahimi, they are coming one after the other. And we have learned the principle. When the name and attribute of Allah come one after the other, we will not say that the first one is Mawsuf and second one is Sifa. Rather, we will deal them as we're going to deal it now. The Ar-Rahmani is Sifa number 1 and Ar-Rahimi is Sifa number 2. That's how we deal with them. If we summarize the whole thing, Bismi is a jar majroor, but because Ism was connected with Allah. How? Because Ism and Allah are mudaf ilayh. So you put them in one bucket. So you put Ba in the bucket of jar and Ismillahi in the bucket of majroor. Bismillahi is a jar majroor fragment. One more time. Ba in the bucket of jar and Ismillahi together in the bucket of majroor. Why? Because they are linked together being a mudaf ilayh. So Bismillahi is a jar majroor fragment. And after that you got nothing. You only got two sifat of Allah. Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Let's translate it first. With the name of Allah. And this Allah is Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. Inshallah, the explanation of Rahman and Rahim, inshallah, I will do when we'll do the Suratul Fatiha. Not now. For now, just remember this much. And Ar-Rahmani is Sifa number 1 of Allah and Ar-Rahimi is Sifa number 2 of Allah. And if you think about the sentence, please pay attention. You only have one jar majroor phrase. Why? Because Ba is jar, Ismillah majroor, and Rahman and Rahim are connected to Allah because they are the sifat of Allah. So in a nutshell, the whole thing is just a jar majroor fragment. That's it. So basically what we are learning is that this thing, and by the way, we call it, look at this word, we call it Basmala. Basmalatun. Basmalatun or Basmalah. This is called Ist'iazah and this is called Basmalah. So what you are learning today is that Basmalah is actually a jar majroor fragment and that's it. It's not a sentence. Inshallah, in our next lesson, when I will do the analysis of our first surah, I'll explain to you that the benefit and the depth, that why is it that Basmalah is just a fragment? Because we know that fragment is called what? Murakkab Naqis. Don't forget your level 1. Fragment or phrases are called Murakkab Naqis, incomplete combination. So Basmalah from a technical point of view is an incomplete combination of words. And there is a depth in this concept that why is it an incomplete combination of words.